Oh, yeah, I wasn't really doing anything, just hanging a little poster. It's not a big deal. All right, I guess since we're here, you caught me. I might as well make this confession. I'll show you what I was doing, and we can talk about it if you'd like. All right, just follow me. 1 second. Come on in. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. My name is Danielle Rich, and I love musical theater, and I'm not ashamed. Not anymore. No, I've never been ashamed of it. There's just not a lot of people that I know that enjoy musical theater, so I don't talk about it too much. But you know what? New year, new me. So, we're going to talk about musicals today. One in particular, we're going to talk about Rent. But, um, yeah, let me just change really quick. You know, I'm never prepared for this. So, I'll be right back. Okay. So, yes, today, again. Oh, look. That's right. Yeah, I felt called to look for my playbills today. For those of you who don't know, playbills are what you, as a theater lover, collect and keep each time you go to a show. They have a little like info packet, and it has the whole artwork for the show put on there. And yeah, anywho, so I decided to go into the garage and check out some of our storage and look for it. I'm surprised I didn't have it in here. I have it in this box that, well, technically belongs to my mom, but she let me have it. So that's what I keep all my theater memorabilia in. So I have like all my playbills in there, and pretty much every single ticket that I that I have from I think the majority of the playbills I have, I also have tickets to go along with it. So uh, yeah, leading into this, I would also just like to, you know, show my little collection. And then I do have a playbill for this musical called If Then, which stars Idina Menzel and also has Anthony Rapp in it, which both artists are in Rent. And it was really cool to see them perform live together. And yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna super nerd out, but yeah, just thought I would share that with you so you get a little more insight on who I am and what I'm into. You know, I don't only love film. I keep hitting my head on this. But yeah, I not only love film, but I love musical theater. I just love stories, you know? But yes, so I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of Rent, even if you haven't watched it. But just in case you don't know the lore, I am here to share that with you. You know, I've been through some things this past year and just had this whole awakening into myself, and I've been going back and rewatching some of my favorite like movies and TV shows, and everything is just hitting so much differently. And with Rent, I've watched Rent so many times, especially when it came out, I believe, well, in film version, came out in 2005, I do believe. And I probably didn't watch it till 2006 when it was out on DVD and my mom bought it. So it just became a random movie that I watched and ended up loving it. I had no idea what Rent was about. I had never seen the show before. Watching the movie was my first experience with it. So, but yeah, and I just fell in love with it, watched it all the time. But yes, back to Rent. So, music, lyrics, and book were written by the brilliant Jonathan Larson. Funny enough, Jonathan Larson was the protege for my all-time favorite composer, Stephen Sondheim, which is another instance of, if you think you've never heard anything from Sondheim, you definitely have. If you know any songs from West Side Story, you have definitely heard of Stephen Sondheim. Lots of his work is played in film, television, commercials, all over the place. But yeah, he's top tier. Will always be top tier, rest in peace. And yeah, so I just thought it was very fitting that his protege created something so beautiful and timeless that people still latch onto and love today, just like they do with Stephen Sondheim's work. But yes, music, lyrics, and book, all written by Jonathan Larson. Some backstory on Jonathan Larson. On January 24th, 1996, after the musical's final dress rehearsal before its off-Broadway opening, Larson had his first and only newspaper interview. Music critic Anthony Tomasini of the New York Times, who had been attracted by the coincidence that the show was debuting exactly 100 years after Puccini's opera, requested the interview. I believe he was attracted by the coincidence because I think the opera was a big inspiration to Jonathan in creating Rent. But yes, so Larson unfortunately would not live to see Rent's success. He passed away from an undiagnosed aortic dissection believed to have been resulted from Marfan syndrome early that morning. So January 25th, 1996, friends and family gathered at the New York Theater Workshop, and the first preview of Rent became a sing-through of the musical in Larson's memory. So instead of going through with the full outright performance of the show, they opted to just be on stage all together and sing through the songs in his honor, which I think is very beautiful. I think it's very sad that Jonathan didn't get to see what this show became, but it is a very beautiful, declaration to his honor and this beautiful work he created. He didn't get to create as much as he could have, unfortunately, but this one show he created spans lifetimes and will forever live in history as a beautiful piece of artwork that represents so many diverse people and just embracing life and love and so many other things. But yeah, Rent is set in the late 80s to early 90s. It is also surrounded by the themes of the AIDS epidemic and urban conflict. I'm going to try and be careful with referencing the epidemic and words surrounding that. I might say illness instead of saying specifics, just because I don't know if something might be insensitive or not, and I don't want to be rude. Also, I don't know YouTube guidelines, so yeah. Okay, so the plot of Rent. Rent tells the story of a group of impoverished young artists struggling to survive and create a life in Lower Manhattan's East Village in the thriving days of the bohemian culture of Alphabet City and under the shadows of HIV/AIDS. So the cast of Rent in this film is Jesse Martin, Jonathan Pascal, Anthony Rapp, Wilson Jermaine Heredia. I don't know if I said that right. I should have looked it up beforehand. Tracie Thoms, Rosario Dawson, Taye Diggs, and Idina Menzel. This film version of Rent, amazingly, has basically the whole original Broadway cast, with the exception of Rosario Dawson and Tracie Thoms replacing the original actors who played Joanne and Mimi. Side note, I just have to say, I guess like 2006 into 2007 was like a really good time for me because I was very in love with this film, and then I was also in love with Death Proof, which is one of my top 3 favorite movies that also stars Rosario Dawson and Tracie. So I was just like at home watching these movies on repeat over and over, and I love their chemistry together. They worked so well together. I could have watched them pair up in so many other films. But anywho, so getting into the intro, we are introduced to Rent with a title song, Rent. We're introduced to most of the main characters. During this main title song, we see Collins, portrayed by Jesse Martin, who is just amazing, arriving at Mark and Roger's place. He's downstairs and he asks for the keys. Keys are thrown down to him. Shortly after, unfortunately, he is jumped on the street and is left bleeding in an alley. So at the end of the title song, we see Taye Diggs' character, Benny. Benny calls over for Mark and Roger to come downstairs and talk to him. Benny used to be friends with Mark and Roger and Collins and some other characters that we'll get introduced to shortly after this. But Benny shares his dream about what he sees for the city/neighborhood and expresses to his former friends that they either need to pay their rent or they need to pack and get out. No compassion, no sympathy. Money is Benny's biggest drive, sadly. Meanwhile, we see an adorable human street performing just before he calls it a night, and as he's walking away from where he was playing drums, he runs into Collins in the alley. This adorable human's name is Angel. Angel helps Collins get back on his feet and out of the cold. A little after this, we see Roger alone playing his guitar. There is a running theme in this show that Roger can't seem to finish this song that he's writing. Like, he just continuously repeats the same tune over and over. He has no lyrics for it. It's just a running joke. But we get some background on Roger and his past with his song, which is entitled One Song Glory. The song, which is actually one of my favorites, showcases Roger's previous past with addiction and losing his girlfriend to addiction and illness. This background info is much needed to know as we see Roger go through a journey of self-forgiveness and allowing love back into his life. Very reluctantly. But cut to his introduction to Mimi, who is played by Rosario Dawson. Mimi is actively flirting with Roger, but Roger politely dismisses her advances, especially after he becomes aware that she partakes in substances. And as we just learned, he lost his previous girlfriend to that, and that's very triggering for him. It's not something that he wants to repeat for himself. The song that Mimi and Roger sing together is called Light My Candle. It's a cute, flirty song, mainly flirtiness coming from Mimi, but it's a cute, flirty song with great, relatable one-liners.
Big, like my father's. Do you want to dance?
With you?
No, with my father.
I'm Roger.
They call me.
The following day, Collins returns to the apartment with Angel and introduces Angel to his friends as his new friend. I don't know to what degree they would associate themselves as, so we'll just say it's Collins' new friend. Mark gets a call from his ex, Maureen, who is played by the amazing Idina Menzel. Colin teases Mark about helping her, especially since she is already dating somebody else, Joanne, played by Tracy Toms, which is just this running joke in the beginning, because like even Benny was like, oh, like Maureen's already dating somebody else, and Mark was like, yeah, and he was like, oh, who is he? And then, he says Joanne, and then he starts cracking up, and same thing with Collins, he's like, oh, Joanne. But yeah, it's funny. Before they all part ways, Collins and Angel invite Mark and Roger to a life support meeting. Angel expresses to Mark that it's okay to attend even though he doesn't live with HIV. Mark agrees with the intentions of filming and documenting the meeting, and Roger declines the invitation. Now, Mark is an artist. He is very much into documenting. He always has a camera on him, constantly recording. In this newer stage of my life, I very much identify with that and love that aspect of the character. But yes, so Mark heads over to Maureen's performance space. Maureen is a performance artist and her audio isn't working, so she reaches out to Mark, knowing, that he won't say no to her. And Mark, unfortunately, when he arrives, is introduced to Maureen's new partner, Joanne. Both of them are reluctant to work together. Joanne wasn't even aware that Maureen had contacted Mark, but they both end up basically sharing like war stories regarding Maureen and her promiscuity. There's a whole song about it called Tango Maureen, which is a very entertaining song. I really like that one. I have to say, this film is visually stunning. I don't think people think about how hard it is to transfer a stage show into a film. That is a whole other creative process. in itself. That can, end up being very damning with the Broadway community if they don't feel that the initial message or vibe of the show is recreated the right way. The Broadway critics can be more cruel than a common film critic. So it's like a double whammy on that one when recreating a show into a film. Even though this is clearly a large production of the musical, it still, to me, somehow feels like you're watching them on stage. The sets are so raw and relatable to the show and the time period it's set in. It's beautiful, and it really helps you get into the story and just feel the vibe of that time, especially if you're knowledgeable about the history of things going on in that time. It just meshes very well. That, along with the mild pops of color like reds, purples, greens, and yellows, it sets a very calm and neutral tone for the audience, at least in my opinion. But yeah, cut back into the movie. We are sort of introduced to the character of Mimi, portrayed by Rosario Dawson, with her solo song called Out Tonight. We see what a typical night is like for her as she ends her song in yet another pursuit of trying to get Roger's attention. This time Roger isn't as kind with his dismissiveness. He gets angry with Mimi and continues to force her out of his life. This leads into a transition of one of my favorite songs called Another Day. Within this song, Mimi and later the rest of Roger's friends share words with Roger stating that he needs to forget regret, or life is his to miss. No other road, no other way, no day but today. And no day but today right now is actually one of my biggest sayings in life, especially as I have rewatched this film during this time in my life of growth and sort of rebirth, for lack of a better term. I don't really like saying that, but yeah, like I said, I watched this film so many times when it came out on DVD, and I loved it, but it just, I guess, having gone through more deeper things in my life throughout the years, it just all hits so much different, especially, forget regret, or life is yours to miss. But forget regret, I was always overconsumed with thinking back on my past mistakes and punishing myself for it, and using substances to to drown out, all of my regrets and constant rehashing on the past. So it's it really hit home. I never cried so much watching this film before, and I was just tearing up the whole time, especially at this one part that I had never cried at before, but we'll get to that. But yeah, the next day Mark checks in on Roger and suggests giving Mimi a chance, and also invites him to another life support meeting. Roger ends up attending and joining in on the singing with the other attendees in a song titled Will I. This has always been something that got me. Just the words, will I lose my dignity? Will someone care? Will I wake tomorrow from this nightmare? It's just It's so relatable and honest, especially. It's just so relatable, you know, if you've gone through dark times of any sort, that, you know, it's hard to get through day by day. It hits. And it's sung so beautifully in unison, the whole life support group. Yeah, and I cut through some other songs and moments, nothing too drastic, but we'll get into Collins and Angel are walking together and end up singing their love song, which is entitled I'll Cover You.
Open your door, I'll be your tenant. Don't got much baggage to lay at your feet, but sweet kisses I've got to spare. I'll be there and I'll cover you.
And this is one of those things that they kind of like hit for me recently. Just it's just a very cute song, and I've just never, I don't know, paid attention to their love story as deeply as I pay attention to it now. But it's just a cute song of them talking about, you know, that they've never felt like love like this before, and they know all these things now, and they're glad that they found these things in each other, and that they'll protect each other and cover each other, you know. It's very beautiful. So after this, we see Roger seeking out Mimi just before Maureen's performance. He ends up preventing Mimi from purchasing substances and invites her to go to Maureen's show with him and his friends. Mimi agrees, and they meet up with everybody. We see that Mimi actually knows Angel and their friends, so that works out. So yeah, we cut to Maureen's performance where she sings her song Over the Moon, which is one of my favorites just in terms of entertainment, and Adina just performs it just amazingly. This song always like stuck with me after I initially watched the film back in the day, and I've always like continued to use this phrase that she used towards the end of her performance, where she goes, "Moo with me," and she gets like the whole audience to moo with her, so everybody's just like moo and all that shit. Yeah, after, like, at the end of her performance, a riot breaks out. Benny, who is in attendance, has security there. His security engages in the riot and ends up escalating it, you know, typical. Everyone disperses and ends up meeting up at a restaurant. When they get inside, they see Benny is there, and Benny is there with his business associates, and he kind of like half-asses apologizes for what happened, and we get into one of the like probably most popular songs of Rent. Universally, everybody loves La Vie Boheme. In my opinion, I think La Vie Boheme is like a fun, rebellious song aimed against Benny in that moment that everybody just sort of gets into. It's like this large group environment and everybody participates and just like, you know, kind of poking fun at him and his silly mission and the things that he thinks are dead that are very much alive within them, right? So it's a great song. Somewhere in the midst of this song, Roger and Mimi finally talk things out and find out that they have more in common than they thought, and they officially become an item. Afterwards, after the VBOM, we observe a montage showcasing the group of friends on New Year's celebrating. When they return home, they find their building is padlocked. They break in just to find that their stuff is missing. Joanne and Maureen suggest to Mark that he take a job offer that he got from basically like a TMZ equivalent company, interested in his work, after he recorded and submitted video of the happenings surrounding Maureen's performance. Mark reluctantly agrees, and all three go to negotiate Mark's contract. Joanne is a lawyer. I don't think I mentioned that before, but Maureen isn't invited into the room and proceeds to flirt with a receptionist. Mark takes the job, and Joanne is upset with Maureen, expressing not feeling valued or committed to, leading Maureen to them propose, saying like, that's all you had to ask, which I'm sure some of us have heard that before, but anyway, cut to their engagement party. Maureen goes over to a table to get a drink after some toasts are made. She clearly looks uncomfortable. But yeah, we see her flirting yet again. Joanne gets pissed, and one of Rent's other most popular songs, Take Me or Leave Me, is sung. The song basically just is both of them saying like, literally, take me for what I am or leave me. You know, like, instead of doing all this back and forth of trying to change each other or not accepting certain things about each other, it's like they sing about what makes them them and what they love about themselves, and it's like, if you don't like that about me, then bye. So Maureen and Joanne separate at the end of the song, and the crew returns to Mark and Roger's place, where they are met by Benny, trying to be charitable and allow them to live rent-free, which is something that he came up with as an idea that was presented by Mimi. Mimi met up with Benny behind everybody's back, and Roger is not happy about it. Mark writes Benny a check and says that we don't need your charity, since he just got this gig and he'll be making like $3,000. He's like, I will pay for it, which I think is a boss move. You know, if you can make that happen, make it happen. This leads us into a montage involving another song I really love called Without You. And Without You, it's basically saying like, they literally say, you know, like, say for instance, without you, the kids play, you know, the leaves blow, all these things, but I die without you. And I just think it's very sad but beautiful, because, you know, when you love people that much that are not present in your life anymore, it just, you know, that's how it feels. It's just this sadness, and it shows each character kind of going through their own thing. It's showing Mimi having issues with staying sober and Roger being upset with her. You see that they've separated, and we're also seeing like the life support group, and little by little a person's image fades, which is indicating that they're, you know, no longer with us. And that leads into showing Angel going through that unfortunate same fate. And I'm gonna try really hard not to cry right now. The crew reunites for Angel's funeral. Everyone shares kind words about Angel just before Colin takes the stage and sings a slowed down reprise of I'll Cover You.
But sweet kisses I've got to spare. I'll be there and I'll cover you. Oh, I think they meant it.
Like, this is the song that I was talking about that just really hits different with me now. I never cried at that part before or like felt emotional about it, but I think just like I said, with different experiences in my life and actually having had somebody in my life that I love that deeply, like that song just hits so incredibly hard and it's so damn sad. And I also just think that it's amazing that, for one, Jonathan Larson created a song that works in an uplifting love song way and then also works in a very sad goodbye way, you know. And also all the credit in the world to Jesse for being such an amazing artist and singer and just singing the hell out of that song. Like, your heart breaks watching him, hearing his voice when he sings that song that's dedicated to Angel. And it's just but yeah, I gotta stop talking about it or I'm gonna cry. But yeah, after this moment, the crew kind of gets together. They're, well, within the graveyard, they're arguing with each other and just doing all this back and forth. Roger and Mimi are arguing with each other. Maureen and Joanne are arguing with each other. Maureen and Mimi are singing, you know, I would die for, you know, a piece of what Angel had and stuff, and it's intense. And Collins walks up and ends it. He's like, you guys promised you wouldn't do this today, you know. And I do believe at the end of that, Joanne and Maureen are seemingly making amends and they're hugging, and yeah, when we see Roger walk away. So Roger ends up leaving and we get into one of our final songs, which is called What You Own. This song also very much hits different for me. I never liked this song before. It was always like a throwaway song to me. I just had no interest in it, especially lyrically. But again, as I have grown and gone through some things, it really hits me. It's a great song. I mean, it's always been a great song, but I just, for the first time, relate to it. But in the process of this song, you see Mark and Roger are singing this song, and you see them living in separate, you know, places, and Roger is coming down to the conclusion that he needs to go back home and find Mimi, and you can see him writing the lyrics to a song finally. And then you also see Mark go through this realization or this conclusion that he's quitting this like TMZ based job because it's not what suits him as an artist. He wants to tell people stories and, you know, not do grimy gossipy shit. So that's the conclusion that they come to. But yeah, so Roger goes back home. When Roger's back home, everyone, including Roger, is looking for a missing Mimi, who is taking substances again and is living out on the street. I believe Maureen and Joanne find her. They yell for everybody to come down stairs to help them get her up. They lay her on a table. Mimi sees Roger has returned and begins apologizing. They apologize to each other, and Roger sings her a finally finished song that he wrote just for her. She seemingly passes away right after, only to revive and say that Angel told her it wasn't her time yet. And then we get into the actual finale song, and the song encompasses numerous songs that are sung throughout the musical and is being sung while it's also showcasing the documentary that Mark made based on their lives and their time together. And that's it. That is Rent. It is a beautiful story. It's relatable at any time. It's just about life and humanity and letting go of regret, living your life in your true purpose, you know, just all these things that I can just completely relate to so heavily. But getting into a little bit of trivia, Anthony Rapp, who plays Mark, kept the famous scarf he wore as Mark in the original Broadway show. However, it could not be used in the film because the white was too bright for the camera, so instead he wears a navy and light gray scarf. I thought that was a cool little tidbit for, you know, OG lovers of Rent. Jesse Martin's character, Detective Green on the NBC series Law & Order, was wounded in the line of duty to allow Martin to take several months off to film Rent. Martin's detective partner on Law & Order was Jerry Orbach, who was a renowned Broadway musical comedy star before his television career. Martin says Orbach gave him a great deal of pointers about how to do musical comedy before he left to do this movie, which I think that's a great note. I remember that was one of the biggest trivia facts that my mom told me, like, back in the day, because she used to watch him on Law & Order. And she was like, yeah, he had them like write him off the show for a while so he could do the film. And I think that's so beautiful because, you know, these are the original, well, you know, primarily these are the original cast members of the show, and, you know, really wanted to be a part of the film, and I love that. Idina Menzel sang Over the Moon live rather than lip singing the song, and I'm like, of course she did, because she's a boss. Idina's amazing, dude. I mean, look how many successful musicals, Broadway and movie alike, that she's been a part of. She's just amazing. Oh yeah, I was also going to point that out earlier. Idina Menzel and Aaron Lohr, I'm assuming that's how you say his last name, got married in September of 2017. Aaron is one of the people in the life support group circle, and I remember when I first watched the film, I also noticed that he's one of my favorite characters from the Mighty Duck movies. But yeah, I thought that was cool, and also I just thought that was random, just considering, you know, Idina and Taye Diggs met when they were the original Broadway cast of Rent, and, you know, they were married for a long time. They have a son together, and, you know, they split up. I just think it's random that she ended up finding the love of her life via Rent, or, you know, shared a Rent experience with her current husband. So I just thought that was interesting. Dude, if you've been watching all my videos, you know that Martin Scorsese has been like a big thing lately for me. I'm like obsessed with this dude right now. So when I saw this trivia, I was like, ain't no way. One of the producers of the film, Robert De Niro, tried to persuade his longtime friend Martin Scorsese to direct, but the legendary filmmaker was unhappy with the drafts of the screenplay he read and departed the project. I'm like, dude, can you imagine if Martin Scorsese directed this? I don't think it would have affected anything much. I think it would have just made it like a million times better, but this was already amazing on its own. The 16mm street scenes, which are meant to look like they were shot by Anthony Rapp's character Mark, were really shot by Jonathan Larson's friend, documentary filmmaker Eddie Rosenstein. The inspiration for Mark's character was both Ed Rosenstein and filmmaker Jonathan Burkhart. I thought that was a cool little tidbit. The original Broadway production of Rent opened at the Nederlander Theater on April 29th, 1996, and ran for 5,123 performances. I'm gonna assume that is correct. Sometimes IMDb be lying to me, but we're gonna go with it. And also the stage musical Rent won the Pulitzer Prize in Drama in 1996, which I think is amazing and a great homage to the late great Jonathan Larson. It makes me happy that his beautiful work lives on and that he is forever remembered because of it. And yeah, I love this musical. So many members of my family love this musical. It's a beautiful story, and I love that, I fell in love with it at one point when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I've just fallen in love with it all over again for much deeper reasons that I am proud that I can associate with, because it's growth, it's love, it's self-love, it's passion, it's not giving up on yourself, it's embracing each day as it comes and not taking anything for granted and not living in the past with regret. So if I haven't completely ruined it for you, I strongly recommend watching it. I cut through a lot of things and there's still plenty to be seen. But yeah, definitely give it a watch. Thank you to my fellow Broadway nerds for watching. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you all enjoy it. But yes, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, and I will catch you next time.